Some Ordinary Gamers, aka Mutahar, is one of YouTube's most beloved tech personalities. But what if his expertise was completely fabricated to give his videos credibility? That's exactly what many across the YouTube community have alleged, and the evidence against Mutahar is rather damning. For over a decade, Mutahar's brand has rested on one word: engineer.
Of course you realize I'm an engineer.
I'm
only an engineer, okay?
But here's the thing, he's not. In Canada, where Mutahar lives, calling yourself an engineer without being licensed is illegal. To legally use that title, you need a 4-year degree, 4 years of work under a licensed engineer, and to pass a national exam. Mutahar has none of that. He dropped out of college after 1 semester. He holds a 2-year broadcasting diploma, nothing related to cybersecurity. And yet for 10 years, he's used the title engineer to project authority and sell himself as an expert in technology, coding, and security. He's called himself a video engineer, a cybersecurity engineer, even the Johnny Sins of engineering. But when it comes to receipts, actual qualifications, there are none. Mutahar is not an engineer. He's a self-taught YouTuber who inflated his background to gain credibility. And once that lie took hold, he ran with it. It's something Mutahar has said over and over, that YouTube is just a hobby, and that his real job is something more noble.
Now to understand, before we get into it, YouTube is not my job, alright? I don't treat this as my job, and if this was my job, I'd be stressed every day. Except
that too was a lie. Despite uploading daily, streaming frequently, appearing on podcasts, and being a full-time content creator, Mutahar insists YouTube isn't his job. But when asked directly what he does do, the answers constantly shift. In 2021, he said he was a full-time day trader.
My job right now, I just sit around and trade and invest. That's what my job is.
In 2023, he said he was a real estate CEO.
The CEO of our own company. Like, I'm the CEO of like our own group. We do a lot of like property and like asset investment around where we live.
Sometimes he says he's an investor, sometimes a video editor, other times still an engineer. And what makes it worse is that each time he's challenged, he adds more layers to the illusion. It feels like he wants to be seen as something better than a YouTuber, a genius who doesn't need the clout, a man who's just casually posting million-view videos between meetings at his investment firm. But behind the scenes, there's no company, no team, no proof. Just a guy who wakes up, records, edits, and uploads like every other YouTuber on the platform. In late 2024, a disturbing collaboration resurfaced, a video where Mutahar appeared alongside VTuber Nikandros, reacting to anime content widely considered to depict underage characters in explicit scenarios. In Canada, where Mutahar lives, that kind of content is illegal to view, even if it's animated. At first, Mutahar played dumb. He said he had no idea what he was watching, claimed he was blindsided, and then rushed to release a 39-minute apology video called Post to Nux Clarity.
Now, for people who don't know, Oompaville and Nikandros were former members of the Some Ordinary podcast, which obviously ended 3 to 4 months ago. But to go back to it, Nikandros is a former collaborator, a former friend of mine, and I mean really a former friend of mine, because some of the stuff that I've seen over here is disgusting enough that I really can't continue a friendship.
He disavowed Nux, said the podcast was over, and pledged to cut ties permanently. But then he deleted the video. He deleted the community post. And according to Nux himself, Mutahar privately called to apologize and walked back everything. So why this sudden flip? Well, this wasn't a one-time thing. Mutahar had appeared on multiple degenerate collabs with Nux before. He had joked about anime girls, exceptionally young characters, and even made lewd comments about cousins and siblings in those videos.
Sometimes it's like, oh shit, mom, you're stuck under a table. Better stick my in you. Like, okay.
The lie wasn't that he was tricked. The lie was that he had no idea who Nux was, despite being his podcast co-host, longtime collaborator, and someone who had watched his content on stream multiple times. This wasn't damage control, but reputation laundering. And when it didn't work, when fans started connecting the dots, he panicked, deleted everything, and quietly hoped the whole thing would go away. This isn't just a few lies, it's a decade-long pattern. He says he's an engineer. He isn't. He says YouTube isn't his job. It is. He says he doesn't know controversial creators, then collabs with them. He says he values integrity, but repeatedly lies and deflects when caught. And when he's called out, he claims his mental health is declining, that the content cycle is exhausting, that he's taking a break, only to upload again days later. It's always someone else's fault. The critics are toxic, the fans misunderstood him, the timing was off, it was just a joke. Except it's not a joke when your entire reputation is built on lies. Mutahar didn't have to lie. He could have just said he was a YouTuber, a self-taught tech nerd who built an audience off personality and content. But that wasn't enough. He needed to be more. An engineer, a trader, a CEO, a cybersecurity expert, a genius with 4 careers and no flaws. How many other lies has he told? How much of his expertise is real? And if the only proof we ever had was his word, why did we believe him in the first place? Because at the end of the day, Mutahar isn't just some ordinary gamer. He's some ordinary fraud, and the lies are finally catching up.